What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and today, guys, we'll be going through the Fjordur creature submission. Now, I was going to do these individually, but I figured we'd do it all in one go, just to save on video so you guys don't have to worry about being spammed with multiple videos. So, guys, here are the list of candidates. Now, if you want access to this, all you need to do is chuck in survivetheark.com, and it'll come up for you. I'll leave a link to this as well in the comments for you guys if you want to take a look at it. So, the poll will open Wednesday, the 5th of January, and you have then to rank your vote. Now, the way this works is it's different to the last one. Instead of a straight-out voting system, it's a ranking system, so you can actually rank your favorite creatures, and depending on that, it's what the extra creature will be. Now, we've got 10 creatures here. They said only one of these will be going in. I really hope that they implement more than one, because we already have the other one that they released during the extra live stream, the rhino-looking pig thing that can go underwater. Plus, we've already got, I think Fenrir is also being included, and the Fjordur hawk. So we already know two. I don't know if Fenrir has been included or not, but I know Fjordur hawk is. So we've already got two, and I think they've said that there's only going to be 3 new creatures. So I'm really hoping they include more of these. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and take a look at the new creatures that could possibly make it. Now, first up, we have the Giant Bison. Now, I know for a fact that the mod developer themselves, Cjthecheesedj, is a big candidate for the Giant Bison. And honestly, I can see the appeal for it. We don't have a bovine creature in the game yet. So I can kind of see how it would be appealing. And like, it is very Swiss sort of orientated sort of thing. So I would definitely expect a bison to make it in there. But let's take a look at it. So we've kind of got a dossier created by the Iron Wolf. So you can see here, wild, traveling in massive herds for greater pastures. The largest bovine in existence is a sight to behold. With their massive pairs of horns, they are known to be aggressive chargers and capable of goring any predator willing to challenge them, including wolves and bears. Their large bodies, capable of withstanding the harshest winters with their ever-growing pelts, make them durable enough to resist freezing to death. Now, obviously it makes sense, that's their little wild dossier bit. So, taming, extremely sought for their pelts, horns, and the rich bovine milk. Taming a bison isn't as easy as it looks. Many tribesmen attempt to bull ride in hopes to tire them out and begin feeding them when they aren't wide awake. Beware getting bucked off. I've seen many tribesmen knocked out with that heavy bull kick to the face. Some get gored if unlucky enough. So it sounds very similar to the equus taming thing. Very similar to that. Domesticated, once they are tamed, this of course unfortunately attracts every now and then random predators who want to raid your livestock and eat them. Now this mechanic sounds really awesome. So essentially over time you're going to get like wolves and dire bears and stuff like that coming in to try and get some juicy bison meat. The milk produced by the females gives any baby animal being raised a quite needed boost. Potentially can be warmed up in a cooking pot for a special buff against the cold weather. With their hulking bodies, they offer extreme warmth and can carry weight much like modern ox. Like modern cattle, their feces is much more potent fertilizer, often referred to as cow pie, that gives crops a boost of extra harvest. So we've got bison milk, we've got extra poo for the crops. We've got a heavy, durable tame that can take a lot of damage, keep you warm in the winter, which on Fjordur and you go into Jotunheim and stuff like that is going to be a big thing. Combat, built in with a charge mechanic similar to the Triceratops and the Rhino, the bison could impale its victims into their horns and gore them to bleed out. As well, a herd buff to boost their strength with mate boosted activated, dealing extreme damage, and a crippling debuff inflicted on players and dinosaurs if it successfully charges. Now, for utility wise, another farm animal for the common PvE or role-playing players who would love a cow in Ark, like the one in Atlas. Bison milk in turn could be cooked warmly to drink as an insulation buff against the cold, or fed to babies, especially baby wyverns who require milk themselves. When bison defecate, they drop a special feces called cow pie, which is much better than other dinosaur feces, and more efficient, sometimes giving the crops a boost of extra harvest with a unique cart or wagon saddle. Depending on the type of saddle chosen, affects how the player... Depending on the type of saddle chosen, this affects how the player... I apologize, guys. Some of these aren't perfect English, so let's take a look. Depending on the type of saddle chosen, this affects how much weight the player can carry back and forth from point A to point B with more speed. The amount of bison needed for the type of cart or wagon saddle affects not only speed, the weight, and the mobility of the mini-wheeled base. So it sounds like they're running like a chariot sort of thing as well. You can have a couple tied to like a chariot sort of saddle. So that's what the saddle mechanic would be for the bison. So it's kind of like a chariot and you can strap more on, is what I'm assuming they're trying to insinuate. They can also be milked for their nutritional sweet baby food. If fed to warm-blooded babies, the calcium would help them grow much faster than normal than any other food given. And it can also be substituted for any food a baby might require, such as kibble. So you can swap out milk for kibble. And it sounds like as well, the milk will also give them a bit of a growth boost as well, which is also pretty cool. And then you'd be able to make cheese, a crafting recipe requiring bison milk, a very delicious cheese with a very wild yet sweet taste. Who knows what else it could offer? So it seems like they're very much implementing this as well. Raids, having a livestock of these bison will eventually lead to many predators wanting to assault your base to eat your beef. Much in the same manner as how the corrupted attack the element veins in the OSDs, or the nameless harassing you if you don't have a charge pet. You have to turn full-on cowboy to keep them at bay every now and then. That sounds pretty cool. I do like that raiding mechanic where you have like wild creatures come and attack your base. It would probably be annoying during like PvP and stuff like that. But for PvP, it would be really awesome. So we can obviously completely forget about it because the devs are going to completely forget about that mechanic for PvE players. And for the Fjordur map, which is obviously what this is going to be for, useful in colder areas, especially Jotunheim, the bison's thick fur pelt will keep the player protected from the dangerous sub-zero temperatures and deter off any nasty wolves or bears who come too close. It can also be a major harvester if on a trip on foot to harvest metal or wood or various other resources, depending on the cart or wagon saddle. Will speed determine the rough terrain? So it sounds like they're trying to implement a thing where you actually will be able to reduce the weight of resources in the actual saddle itself. That's what it sounds like from this little passage. With predatory dinosaurs and other animals wanting to eat your livestock, you could either use this to your advantage to lure a high-level carnivore or simply farm experience from killing them all. That's actually a really good idea as well. I do like that as well. We obviously wouldn't know what creatures are capable of coming up to the bases and stuff like that and trying to harvest up the bisons and everything. But I do like that idea. So, I mean, there's obviously a lot of comments here as well. So a lot of you guys are fans of the bison. I believe before the actual top 10, I think the bison was one of the highest. Let's take a look here, because this is the voting. So this was to actually determine the top 10. I believe the bison was one of the top ones, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here he is, 879 votes. So I'm pretty sure that was the highest one out of a lot of them. There are definitely some cool candidates in the top 10, though. So we're going to be going through them. I think I might do them individually. I wasn't expecting the bison to take so long. So I think we might do them individually now going forward. But yeah, the bison definitely had the highest amount of votes, 879 votes. So going through here, you can see that nothing else has that many votes. So it's definitely heavily swayed toward the bison at the moment, which I kind of like the idea of it, but there are a lot cooler creatures, in my opinion, throughout this that we'll be going through shortly. But that's going to wrap up today for this video, guys. Like I said, I was going to do them all in one, but if they're all kind of like that, I'll be going through them and talking about them briefly and seeing how else we can implement them and stuff like that. So let's wrap this one up and we'll go over the next one later. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this one and I'll catch you in the next one.